Hey, my name's James from Content Snare, and after a bit of feedback and people asking me to do this kind of thing, I've decided to create a kind of series of videos of how Content Snare got started. So if you're not familiar already, um, Content Snare is our SaaS product aimed at web designers who want to get content out of their clients. Now, that's not how we started, but that's kind of where we've ended up. And this video series is going to go through basically where we started and follow through the marketing process that we've gone through since day one, really. And that's why I've currently got the Wayback Machine open, because I wanted to show you the very first version of this website, because it's significantly changed now. The first version we'll go into in a minute, but so this kind of all happened 6 or 7 months ago now, so it's a little bit of a retrospective, but pretty quickly I think we'll catch up, and I'll just sort of do updates weekly. They're going to be pretty short. This will be a bit longer because of the intro and stuff. But other than that, there's not much I really want to cover in this one, just sort of how we got started. Now that was basically, we were a web design company. We started as software a long time ago. Sort of had, they're enough, we had two products. They weren't big enough to be, full-time businesses, but they were good sort of side incomes. And those, eventually we got into web design, just sort of local networking and that. We did that for about 2.5 years before I sort of got a really big love for marketing automation, just automation in general. And that sort of started piquing my interest in software again, because all of a sudden I'd noticed all these things in design and web development that just needed to be automated somehow, just all these manual processes that just weren't very good. And my first idea was to automate the briefing process. So getting clients through, trying to work out what their requirements were before our initial meeting. And I had quite a few ideas around that, especially for clients that had a little bit of an idea of what they already wanted. But the first thing I wanted to do was get some web designers on a call, like a phone call, to Skype, to work out what the biggest issues were. And I didn't, the whole idea was to not focus on this idea I already had. It was to actually just see, ask questions and find out where their biggest pain points were, to see, basically to validate my idea. And so I had a look, from local networking, I had quite a few contacts in the local area, and some from some forums that I posted in. But I lined up about 15 interviews, and I just asked people what their process looked like, start to finish, for building websites. So if that's from, getting the client all the way through to signing it, getting the final payment, signing it off, and handover. And pretty much without fail, all of them focused on the content. It was like a hold point in all of their processes, and that was a really big flag to me. I was gonna say red flag, but not really. It was a flag that I was looking here and I should have been looking here. It's like only the very next step in the process, really. But the way they were talking about it in the interviews, some of the language they were using, with how frustrated they were, made it pretty obvious that if we could come up with a solution for this, it would be gold. So that's how we got started. And so those interviews, I think I did them over about a week and a half, and I took vigorous notes throughout all of them. And what I found is that basically wrote the copy for me. So some of the words they use, I've literally just torn that straight out of that interview, with permission, and put it on the website. There was one lady who said that she used to work in a bigger agency, and almost every website was held up because of content, and that's our main headline on the website now. So those were extremely valuable, and they wrote our copy and gave sort of detoured from where we started before we even started. So we had an idea that we thought was going to work, but the interviews steered us somewhere else, which, is a bit more confident, makes us a bit more confident that we're going in the right direction when 15 out of 15 people say it's a big problem in their business. Anyway, that's gone long enough. So that's the first video, and I'll be back in episode 2 to talk about the very first website I ever built, which took me about 90 minutes, and it was a pile of crap.